what good will the money do? What good will it do if they get $500,000 or if they get $1 million? It's not going to make a damn bit of difference. Would you like to learn why I attacked that comment when I saw it online? You want to know why? Come join me for a walk through the neighborhood as I share with you how important this question was. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. Now, you know I represent injured victims and injured patients in cases where someone was careless, causing significant harm and injury to my client. The goal of bringing this type of lawsuit, assuming that there's a valid case to be brought, is to try and obtain money as a form of compensation for all the harms and losses and damages that were caused by someone who was careless. So now I saw a comment on one of my videos, and the comment was, what good will this money do? My client had received and took home $500,000 as compensation for all of her injuries. And so this person left a comment and said, what good is the money going to do this person? Why should the doctor and the hospital have been forced to pay X number of dollars so that this person can now go live a life of luxury? Now, this got my blood boiling when I saw that. I was so angry. I was so upset when I saw this. And I wanted to lash out. I wanted to go ahead and tell him what I really thought. But better yet, what I did was I crafted a response that taught and educated this commenter, because I wanted everybody to see this comment to explain why exactly this money was so important to this particular client. So in this particular case, as with all of my cases, the injured victim have suffered tremendous, horrendous injuries. Otherwise, they would not be bringing a case. These injuries are so disabling, they are life-altering. And now what happens? What happens now is that they are doing everything possible to try and make their lives normal again. These injured patients, these injured clients are trying to do everything possible to make their life normal, to go back to the way things were before. But in almost every one of these cases, these people are unable to do so. You can't unring the bell. You can't turn back time. You can't do any of that. So now these injured victims, these injured patients are forced to try and do everything possible in order to make their lives normal again. And for the majority of them, they simply can't. They are forced to live with these long-lasting disabilities, with these lifelong disabilities, with now things that have totally altered their lives, whether it means not being able to work again, or to do the type of work they used to do, or having their family lives shattered because now they can't do the daily things that they used to do. They can't play with their kids. They can't provide for them. They can't put money on the table. Money? No, they can't put food on the table. So what happens then? These injured patients in a medical malpractice case, now, once we have confirmed that they have a valid basis for a case, medical experts have confirmed that there is a valid basis for a case, that doctors or hospital staff were careless and they violated the basic standards of medical care. And had they done the right thing, these injuries never would have happened. So in that instance now, what are they doing? They're basically saying, please compensate me for all of my injuries, for all of my harm. And when we go to the doctors and to the hospitals, they don't voluntarily take out their checkbook and say, okay, how much do you need in order to continue to live a relatively normal life? That doesn't happen. So in that instance, we have no choice, or my client has no choice, but to bring suit. Why? To obtain money as a form of compensation for all of those injuries, since they're not going to get it voluntarily. In these medical malpractice cases, you should know that these cases are always hard fought. It involves years of litigation, years of the defense denying that they did anything wrong, years of the doctor and the hospital staff claiming that you, the injured patient, also did something wrong to cause and contribute to your own injuries. And then they say, you know what? If we did something wrong, your injuries really are not as bad as you claim them to be. We call that affirmative defenses. So now in this one particular case, this one video, where I showcased my client who actually walked away with $500,000. This person commented on the video and said, what good is the money going to do? It's not going to change things. It's not going to put this person back into the way she was before. I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. We can't go back in time and put the pieces back together again. The only thing we can do in a civil lawsuit is try and obtain money as compensation for all of those injuries. So what will the money do? I'll tell you what the money will do. In this scenario, my client couldn't work. She was physically incapable of working because of these injuries. So now this money was going to go to her family to survive, to pay for her rent, to pay for her car payments, to pay for every single payment that she was unable to do. Why? Because that was taken from her. And our law, our system of laws, require that someone who causes harm and injury to somebody else, that they now owe a debt, and that debt involves a financial debt to the person that they now cause this harm to. And this compensation is what we're talking about. So what good will this money do? This money will go to making this person's life easier, because now, through no fault of their own, they suffered disabling, permanent, lifelong injuries. That's what it's going to do. It's going to now ease the pain and ease the suffering that this person endured. Whether it's $500,000, whether it's $1 million, $10 million, whatever number it is, it's never going to be sufficient, and importantly, it's never going to be enough to fully replace what they had before, because all of that was taken from them. And so when somebody said, hey, what good is the money going to do? The money is the only thing that we have as a civil society that goes ahead and says, hey, we recognize that something was done wrong. We are going to compensate you and pay you because we owe this money to you as a debt, as a financial obligation. And now you take this money, and we hope this will make your life a little bit easier, so that now you are not burdened not just by your physical injuries, but we've now been able to ease some of the problems and some of the issues you're going to face because of your disabilities. Why do I share this quick information with you? I share it with you just to open your eyes to explain how these types of cases work here in the state of New York. You know, I recognize you likely have questions or concerns about your own matter. Well, if your matter did happen here in New York and you are thinking about bringing a lawsuit, but haven't done so yet because you still have questions that need to be answered, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know, I answer questions like yours every single day, and I'd love to chat with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at Oginski-law.com. That's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a fantastic day.